Alright, this is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and in this episode I'm going to share with you guys actually my lecture that I gave at the 2019 San Diego Fruit Fest. Check the link down below in the description for a whole review of the Fruit Festival. There's many amazing speakers there, and this is my talk. You know, I like to film my talks for people that aren't able to come out to the event so that my information can get out there, and that's actually the exact same reason why I have this YouTube channel, right? My life was saved. I recovered my health, I've increased my energy, I've maintained my weight. I've had so many benefits from my now nearly 25-year journey starting next year, this year's 24s, on a basically fruit and vegetable dominated raw foods diet and just eating plants, so it's so amazing how diet can help influence your life. I would encourage all you guys to make some dietary changes. And in this video, you're going to learn the 10 top tips to increase energy, increase performance, and increase your health by making select and certain dietary changes. These are things I really want you guys to pay attention to because literally it's a culmination of my now nearly 25 years of living my life, experiencing myself, and my work that I pretty much engage in on a daily basis at this point. So without further ado, let's get into the presentation. So my name is John Kohler, and I have several YouTube channels. I've also been doing a raw foods diet since 1995, maybe even longer than some of the people that have been speaking here have been alive, because I know they're fairly young. And I got into this because of a health opportunity, I like to call it now. I almost lost my life. I had spinal meningitis and was hospitalized, and the doctor said I might not make it out of the hospital alive. And so when I got out of the hospital, I said, well, why did I get this disease? Because one of the things I learned in life is to learn and grow, you need to ask better questions. And so he said you have basically a compromised immune system, and you could get sick with this disease or another disease in the future because your immune system is weak. And that didn't really surprise me a whole lot because as a child I had asthma, allergies, and all these other, basically autoimmune conditions, which were coming out as the symptoms that I was experiencing. Before I go on further, I have a few handouts. I didn't bring enough because the printer at the hotel was not working properly. I will hand out these guys, which I will reference in a minute. And at the end of my talk, if you guys want, I have only a few copies of my whole talk, although my talk will be online on my YouTube channel for you guys to review later. I do have a few handouts. If you really would like one, come to me after the presentation. I'll be glad to hand you guys one. And so the next question I have is, how many people here eat 100% pure fruit, meaning no vegetable diet, by a show of hands? All right, good. That makes me kind of happy. No. And then so how many people here are on a fruitarian diet with vegetables? And then how many people are on a raw food diet, which may not, well, they shouldn't be including fruits and vegetables, but maybe not necessarily, but just raw diet. So good, most people are fruit-based with vegetables. That's awesome. I think that's definitely the way to go. I mean, there's pros to doing an all-fruit diet, but there's also some significant cons, and I have one friend that literally eats 99% of fruits with very little vegetables, and he thrives, but he's in Hawaii on 10 acres, and he grows all his own food. I do not recommend living entirely on fruit, especially with store-bought fruit. Which is something I'll be discussing today. So the next question I have is, how many people currently follow me on YouTube? I have 3 YouTube channels. The one I'll be mostly interested in today is OK Raw, which is where I teach my raw food teachings. Okay, good. Maybe about half of you, so half of you guys don't know me. This is good to know. Aside from OK Raw, where I have my raw food teachings, I have over 500 episodes, just diving into different aspects of raw foods or fruit and vegetable-based diet and how to do it as best as possible. I interview many doctors and people doing it. Even some of my friends have been doing it a long time. And for example, my friend David unfortunately had a stroke on a raw food diet. And he found out why, and in the video we uncover why and what you need to do to prevent getting a stroke on a raw food diet, because although you would think being vegan or raw you would not get a stroke, it is possible. And partly is eating the wrong foods, but other things are things like stress, which can really cause a lot of challenges. Those are the kind of videos I like to uncover. And this is not only for me, but to share this with the world because I'm on my own health journey, and this is what I like to share. This is one of my passions in life, and this is just simply what I do. My second channel that I like actually more than even my raw food channel is called Growing Your Greens, and that's where I'm really into teaching people about growing their own food and becoming familiar with the food you're eating and growing the highest quality food. This is something that you can't do, unfortunately, even at a farmer's market or Whole Foods. By growing your own food, it opens a wide amount of possibilities. While it is called Growing Your Greens, I don't just grow greens, I focus on growing greens myself. I do have lots of episodes on food forests and growing fruit trees, as well as have many fruit trees myself, although I'm waiting to get acres until I go full forward with a whole-on fruit orchard. So it's about growing fruits and vegetables and eating high fruit and vegetable content on that YouTube channel. And my third YouTube channel is youtube.com/rawfoods, and this is a shameless plug. I do sell juicers, dehydrators, and vacuum blenders for a living. That's how I make a living. That's how I'm able to be here today and share everything I do. So if you guys need one of those items, please visit my website, discountjuicers.com. And then on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/rawfoods, that's where I review all the different equipment that will allow you to process and eat more fruits and vegetables in the best way possible. And I'll be talking also a little bit about this today as well. And so I handed everybody out one of these, which we'll be talking about in a minute. But my main talk today is, I really want to encourage you guys to always strive to improve your diet. Even if you think, oh man, I'm eating a raw fruit and vegetable-based diet, that's like the best diet on the planet. And for many reasons it may be, but also it may be deficient for some reasons, which I might talk about a little bit. I always want you guys to improve, and so even me, after doing a raw foods diet, raw fruit and vegetable-based diet now for the last 24 years, I'm still finding ways to improve, and that's what I like to share, and that's what I want to motivate you guys today. So with my talk, I'm basically sharing my 24 years of experience on a fruit and vegetable-based diet with you guys, so that you guys don't have to go through the hardships, the troubles, the pains, the toils that I've been through. If you guys start implementing some of these 10 steps that I'll be sharing with you guys today. This is an advanced topic that I don't have a video on, but if you follow me regularly, all these topics I've covered in this video or that video, and you'd have to watch all my videos to know all these things, but now it's going to be in one video for all the viewers on YouTube today, and for you guys here, and you guys here also get to ask me questions after, which is, I think, personally invaluable. So the talk title today is 10 ways to increase your health, energy, and performance by making dietary changes. And these are 10 simple steps, and these aren't things that I just learned overnight. It's like maybe after 5 years I learned one of these, after 10 years I learned another one, and then some of these are more kind of recent things that kind of came into my perception, but now you guys get to do them or have the choice. Maybe you guys think I'm full of BS. I like to think I'm fairly pragmatic, and I do change my opinions on things over time. So if you see an old video where I promote something and a new video, John, you're controversial compared to what you said 5 years ago, well, that's because I'm always evolving and changing, as I believe everybody should be. And this is totally fine. This is how we learn and grow. And I think one of the big challenges in whatever kind of fruitarian, raw food lifestyle is a lot of the dogma that's out there. But that's what it says in the book. That's what I'm going to do. And people just stick to their guns on what's in there. And we've learned a lot of things in some of the original, books that have come out about this topic. And I would encourage you guys to, not be sheeple in life and just follow people. Oh, I'm going to do exactly what John does. If you're me and you're a clone of me, do exactly what I do because I found it works for me. But we're all so intrinsically different, and we all need to maybe we can have a nice base of what we're going to do, but we all need to change things just a little bit, tweak it for us, and even more importantly, our microbiome that I'll also be talking about today. So yeah, I want you guys to literally be like artificial intelligence, which is now, a buzzword. Artificial intelligence is a program that basically learns by seeing, repeating, and doing things. I mean, as a layman, I know there's some computer nerds out here that can explain that better, but the computer is self-learning, so as it goes along and does math problems or something, it could learn and estimate or guess what's going to happen next time when this happens. And we should all be doing that, as people, learning and evolving and changing, not just sticking to this is what I do and I'm not going to change it up, in my opinion. So the first way I want you guys to improve is increase the quantities of fruits, vegetables, leafy greens, herbs you're eating. I know some of you guys may be raw vegan, some of you guys didn't raise your hand on any of the things I talked about. Maybe some of you guys eat conventional food, came from McDonald's, or just vegan, having vegan junk foods. I mean, the one thing I will say to people in YouTube land watching this, or you guys, And even like my brother was out visiting me in Las Vegas where I live for the last week. And I got to spend a lot of time with my nephew. He's 10 years old. And at 10 years old, you are quite influential. And I'm glad to say that I'm a good influence on my nephew because unfortunately my brother is not. My brother will take my nephew to Smash Burger, which, just toils me because not only the animals lose their life, but because it's like not really healthy food at all. And that's not really food I would put into my child. But it's not my choice what he's doing with his child. But now that Nico is 10 years old, Nico has a voice. He has a choice. So I try to be a positive role model. And like when I was spending some time with him, I'm like, Nico, if you eat fruits and vegetables, you can be healthy like Uncle John. And my brother, he came out to visit me. My brother's now topping the scales at 190 pounds. He looks like some of the pictures you guys saw earlier, but the before pictures of some of the people that were here, that before they got on raw food. My brother's like that. He's like years younger than me. He looks older than me. And he's just puffed and ballooned out. And he's a PE teacher, so he definitely gets more physical activity than I do, which is something I need to improve on. I'm not perfect. But he eats just garbage, and he has all these shoulder problems, and he has like some things going on with his feet now, and I have like minimal health challenges, But anyways, with my nephew, I told him like, Nico, you have every meal you eat, you have a choice. You can eat healthy or you can eat unhealthy. Even if your dad's taking you to Smash Burger and he has a coupon to get a 2-for-1 deal, you can tell your dad, Dad, I don't want to eat Smash Burger. I want to eat some fruits and vegetables because I want to feel healthy. I want to feel good after I eat because my nephew, he'll notice after he eats the food, he doesn't feel good. He maybe feels tired, like after a big Thanksgiving meal or after Smash Burger, which is full of fat, sugar, and oil. It's hard on you. Even for a kid, it'll slow you down. And my nephew plays baseball. So some of the best athletes eat, plant-based foods, plant-based diet. They don't clog you up as much as, high artery clogging foods. So I'm glad my brother told me, he's like, John, after Nico was over here the other day, he's like, I'm going to get Smash Burger. And Nico said, I don't want to eat Smash Burger, Dad. I want some fruits and vegetables. That just made me cry. So I want all you guys out there, every meal you have, even if you're not eating the healthiest foods right now, you always have a choice. You can change. You don't have to do the same thing because you've been doing it, your whole life. And so I want you to increase the quantities of fruits and vegetables if you're not already on this diet, number one. Plant foods are full of phytochemicals and phytonutrients. These are the properties that, in my opinion, keep us young, keep us healthy, keep disease away. Allow us to perform better, allow our brain cells to have, to work more efficiently, our neurons connect better. One of the things I've noticed after doing a raw foods diet all these years is my reaction times are faster now than when I started a raw foods diet, which is insane. Like, if I'm eating a fruit and it's like, it slips out of my hand for some reason, I could just be like, boom, and it's like in my hand and I didn't even have to think about it. Like before I couldn't do that. And I used to play actually, it sounds funny, but I used to play championship air hockey, and in the state of California at one point I was ranked like 7th in the state. And now if I played air hockey, I'd be so much better. Actually, I had a dream about playing air hockey because my reaction times are so much faster. So when the puck's coming down, I could be blocking it and stuff. I don't know if I'll get back into that, but it was fun. But yeah, so there's so many different things, and we're not really aware. People eat McDonald's, and the guy next to me can stand next to McDonald's who's working out at the gym and be as fit, as trim as I am. But just things aren't working properly. Looks are one judge of health, but there's so many others. Like my blood test, which I'm not deficient in iron and beta carotene or the provitamin A that comes from the beta carotene. So that's also dependent on your genes. So number 1 is increase your quantity of fruits and vegetables, leafy greens, and herbs you're eating. Number 2, this is important for all you guys here, the people that raise their hands who are already on a fruit-based diet, fruit, vegetable, or even raw food diet, is better balance specific quantities, better balance of fruits and vegetables and fats you're eating. Each food has specific qualities, traits, phytonutrients, fats, calories, and foods have different roles in the body. So if you're like, if you're on a fruit-based diet eating like bananas and dates to get your calories in, because maybe you live in Denmark or somewhere and that's what you could get and you need to get your calories, these foods, while they are high calorie food, they don't have as much nutrition as maybe some berries that also grow in Denmark in the season. And, other, like I eat dried, tart cherries and freeze-dried cherries. Instead of eating dates, which are much more higher antioxidant foods, than simply dates and bananas. It's rare that I eat bananas. The other thing about bananas we learned today, thanks to one of the speakers, is that they're monoculture raised. So when you are buying even organic bananas, that are imported, you're supporting monoculture, where they're literally slashing and burning forests so they can plant these plantation of bananas so that you guys can buy your organic 69-cent bananas. So whenever I travel, I went to the farmer's market this morning. I strive to eat as much local food, locally grown food as I possibly can from local farmers. Super important. But what do I mean by balance of fruit, vegetables, and fats you're eating? So I know one of the speakers early basically eats very little, if any, overt fats. My personal opinion is that overt fats such as nut seeds, avocados, I'm not talking about oil, I do not recommend or eat oil in any high quantities or any quantities myself, aside from some DHA oil, which is for medicinal reasons. But we need to balance all these things, and I'm not here to tell you guys, oh, you need to eat 80-10-10, or I'm not here to tell you any percentages. But I do believe that fat percentages are important to absorb some of the different phytonutrients more efficiently and in higher uptakes than without them. So if you're excluding all fats, you may not be getting as high of a intake from some of the phytonutrients that are in, especially some of the leafy greens and vegetables. So I always do recommend something like a little handful, maybe an ounce or two of nuts or seeds in with your salad dressing. So now you increase the absorption of some of the nutrients in that salad. One of the things I like to do is I like to add a little bit of coconut milk that I make fresh into my high antioxidant juices. So if you saw me earlier, I was drinking cactus fruit juice, mostly purple cactus fruits, with a little bit of blended coconut meat, young coconut meat, and water in there to add some a little bit more sweetness, although it's quite sweet, but also increase my uptake of some of the phytonutrients in there. A challenge I see a lot with a lot of people is if they don't have a savory palate, which most people unfortunately don't have a savory palate, they have a sweet palate, they eat far too many fruits and they neglect the vegetables or the non-sweet fruits, and especially the leafy green vegetables and even other root vegetables. The carrots are super important food. If you gave me the choice, and I'll make a video on this one of these days, between like a cup of carrot juice, that maybe a cup is like 16 ounces. Actually, I usually would drink maybe 24, and that'd be like 3 pounds of carrots, or like this equivalent amount of calories in bananas. I would choose the carrot juice every single time. But John, the carrot juice, man, it doesn't have any fiber. It's extracted, it's processed, right? Well, so here's the thing, like when you juice carrots, you remove some of the fiber. There's 2 kinds of fiber that's normally identified. There's many kinds, soluble and insoluble fiber. And when you're juicing carrots, you remove the insoluble fiber, that's what comes out of the juicer, but the soluble fiber stays with the juice because it's soluble, it dissolves in water, so you're still getting about half the fiber in there. But here's the thing between bananas and carrots. Number one, carrots are grown more local to me than bananas. They're still probably monoculture raised, not good, but the carrots are also a lot more higher in phytonutrients than bananas are. They got all the beta carotenes that are good for your eyes and that we need to convert into vitamin A that protect us from the sun. And the bananas, unless it's like a Fahey banana that's like orange, which are extremely rare, they don't have any, they have minimal quantities, if any, of beta carotene. They're going to be sun protective for you and maybe even color you orange if you have a nice fair skin. And this is protection from the inside of us. So so it's important just to get a proper balance, and I'm not going to tell you the exact numbers or quantities I eat. And what I also want you to think about over time, as you guys evolve and change in your specific diet, you're going to have to change some of the quantities. I've noticed as I'm getting more mature in my age, I am eating less fruit than I used to. I'm not piling in the fruit. I'm not eating as many calories as I used to either. That's also probably because my fruit and food now is more nutrient dense than say when I started, when I had to eat a lot more dried fruits. Nowadays, dried fruits are like a treat. I don't like to really eat dried fruits because they're missing their water content. The third tip I want to give you guys is you want to focus on micronutrients, not macronutrients. I know there's like the 80-10-10 diet, and that like shoves in you, 80% carbs, 10% fat, 10% protein, and this is how we need to eat. But they don't really talk about how do you get those numbers? Like what foods are you getting? Once again, you could eat, bananas, dates, and romaine lettuce every night, and you could meet 80-10-10. But to me, that's a very deficient diet in terms of phytonutrients, phytochemicals. These are like vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and polyphenols.
All right, so we want to focus on macronutrients, micronutrients, not macronutrients. Instead, you want to be aware of phytonutrients, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, polyphenols, color, etc. Each food has a unique health-providing properties. So you don't have to study every food like I have to know, like I Google and look at published scientific journals on like, hey, what benefits do blueberries have? If I'm making an Instagram post, which you guys should follow me on Instagram, Instagram.com/Leafy Greens. Before I post an Instagram post, I'll be like, okay, I took a picture of jackfruit. And so I go to like PubMed and I Google and I search for jackfruit, like what unique properties in jackfruit that I didn't know about before. And then I'll post that in my Instagram so that people follow me on Instagram can not only see a cool picture of jackfruit, but also learn about this cool phytonutrient that can protect you from cancer, or who knows what it's going to do. And every food has unique nutrients that I want you guys to include. Unfortunately, this is not talked about enough. I guess an easy way to know without researching every possible food is to look at the color of the food. Every different food color has different phytonutrients in there. So, trying to vary the different colors, like, I was actually at the where was I? Oh, I was in Loma Linda, actually. I was in Loma Linda yesterday, and they had the local health food store there had, like, not just regular white cauliflower, they had yellow cauliflower, and then the really exciting cauliflower, the purple cauliflower. How many people like the purple cauliflower? All right, good. Well, a good number of you guys are advanced. All right. But yeah, I would always choose purple cauliflower over white because they have a purple antioxidant, which I've looked up the data, looked up the research, and they're so healing and beneficial. Instead of getting orange carrots, get the purple carrots, which are my favorite carrots, which I will, if I see them in a health food store, I'm going to buy them all if they're selling them in bulk, not in the bunches because they're cheaper in bulk if they do sell them, which is rare. The next way is, I want you guys, number 4, is source the best quality food you can buy, right? This can be quite difficult, right? There's a whole conundrum between organic and conventional. In some studies, conventional is better. In some studies, organic is better. I like to think that overall, organic is generally healthier for you than conventional. I mean, just aside from the nutrients in there, it's like the pesticides, really super toxic pesticides that are in the conventional foods that are really not good for us. A lot of these are neurotoxins for insects, which may translate into neurotoxins for us, plus with all the issues with glyphosate and Roundup as a ripening agent. Yes, they use Roundup on even some fresh fruits and vegetables as a ripening agent, sometimes I've learned, which is quite scary. So for that reason alone, you should try to buy organic whenever you're able. And I know some of you guys out there in YouTube land may not be as lucky as the people here in San Diego and not be able to get organics. But even if you can't get organic and you're still eating conventional produce, just know this, that conventional produce is still basically better and healthier than anything else at the grocery store, despite any pesticides that may be still existing on there. Just do your best to wash them off. Some of them kind of get systemic in the plants, and so my message is do the best you can with that. Now, aside from organic versus conventional, now you can have store versus farmer's market, or industrial grown produce versus farmer's market. So I generally like to think that farmer's market produce is generally better than store-bought produce for a few reasons, because store-bought produce is generally big agro company farms that are just big commercial operations. They're not just like your small town grower, unless you have a really cool co-op that actually buys from local sellers and sells it, maybe like Ocean, People's Co-op down in the ocean here. So yeah, the farmer's market always a better source. Plus, if you're buying at the farmer's market, usually it's picked, the day of or the day before. So always ask the vendor when the food was picked, because after food is picked, it starts to degrade. If you're buying apples in the store right now, the majority of the apples in the store right now are being either imported or are from last year. The U.S. harvest has been in cold storage and in oxygen-deprived environments, so they'll keep their texture and they get really mealy. And always this time of year, I get a lot of questions from my juicer company. John, man, I'm juicing and my juicer's making a lot more pulp in the juice than normal. That's because the apples you're using are literally like almost a year old now. They've lost their texture. They don't juice as well, and that's why you're getting more pulp in your juice now, even though you're using the same exact thing. Your juicer's not going bad. But as time goes on too, like the nutrition levels go down as well. And then after that, we have a comparison between like farmer's market versus homegrown. So yes, farmer's market is definitely in most cases better than the store. but homegrown is even better than the farmer's market, because now, like in my backyard, I grow the majority of my vegetables that I eat, and they're not harvested until I'm going to eat them like 5 minutes later. So now I'm maximizing nutrition, and also in my garden I can add, nutrition to the soil and really foster and take care of the soil microbiome, the bacteria, the fungi in the soil, as well as the trace minerals that most farmers are not adding things in. And then even beyond that, we have wild versus homegrown, wild food. So I'm just out in this garden here, which I'll share some of the exotic vegetables that I've picked today to share. I don't have some for everybody, but some people can get a little taste and I'll explain what they are. But there's wild foods, and some people would argue with each other, wild foods, man, they're better than homegrown foods because wild foods are just natural, they have more phytochemicals because of just the fact that they're wild. But the thing I like to say is that, in the wild, you can't control the soil, you can't control, the minerals in the soil, and in many cases it may be better than homegrown. But my goal is to go to the wild, get the seeds, bring them back to my garden in soil that I know is rich, nutritious, the best soil I can have that hopefully in my opinion will exceed even wild grown stuff. And I think a big challenge in the community is people don't eat enough wild foods that are just super nutritious, because we're stuck with going to the farmer's market or going to Whole Foods and buying maybe like up to 200 varieties of plants that are cultivated and sold in commerce, when there are, if you go to the website PFAF, Plants for a Future database, there's over 5,000 different foods on the planet that are edible. And how many of those have you had? I'm working my way towards 5,000. I'm not even close. I'm probably maybe over 2,000. I still got so many I haven't eaten, but I always try to purchase plants and buy things that I haven't eaten before. And so, and that's where my handout comes in for those of you guys that have one. I will hold it up so you guys can see. So how do you know if a food is higher quality or not, right? So number one, for you guys, the easiest and cheapest thing to do is your taste buds. Our taste buds are the best indicators. And I'm not necessarily talking about like people will judge fruit on its sweetness. I'm not talking about necessarily sweetness, although that could be an indicator. I really want you guys to think about the flavor depth. Besides just being like, this grape is sweet. Is it just sweet? Does it taste like you're eating table sugar, or does it taste like a fruity flavor? Does it taste like a wine when you normally drink wine? Because I know you guys don't drink wine because that's not a health food in my opinion. But all those wine varietals, those wine grapes have really nice, intense flavors. Plus, they have the sugar, and I think it's a crime that they sell these stupid table grapes that are seedless, that may be sweet, but they have like zero flavor. When they grow these wine grapes and they make wine in them, they have all these amazing flavors that get fermented, the sugars get fermented out, and then you have the flavor left from the grapes. Or we should be eating, we should be trying to buy wine grapes to like eat because they have so much more depth of flavor. And these depth of flavors you're tasting are actually the phytonutrients that are missing in the food. So wine, grape growers know that there's a thing called terroir. And terroir, I hope I'm saying that right, is like the quality of the soil that makes the grape taste really good, so that they have good wine. We also want this terroir when we're growing like fruits and vegetables, so that they'll have higher levels of phytonutrients. So taste is really important. And let's see here. Taste, color, another indicator, and fresh pick. So yeah, color, if you guys are picking apples at the store, in the same types. So for example, you're picking Red Delicious apples. There's Red Delicious apples that may be kind of like more on the yellow-green side, and there may be ones in the same bin that are more like deep red. So you always want to try to pick the deeper red ones. They're going to be more antioxidant rich and maybe even a little bit riper, although most apples in the stores, sometimes when I bite into them, and usually I don't eat apples from the store, I only juice them, so it's just so bad. They're kind of even have a green tinge, and that's because they're picked early. And here's a ticket on industrial grown food. For their produce to survive, so the company farmers don't lose their profits, they pick things early. So like, a prematurely picked green, a little bit green tinged apple on the inside will store a lot better under cold storage in an oxygen deprived environment than a ripe apple, obviously. Because once it starts to ripen, it starts to break down. This is where there's more nutrition in there, but it also doesn't store as well either. And another way to test the foods is actually through the Brix tester. And I didn't bring my Brix tester with me, but it's a little refractometer. It's like a little instrument that you'll drop a few drops of the juice on. I give a whole hour talk on the bricks meter and do testing and stuff. I do have videos on that online if you guys want to look at my OK Raw YouTube channel. But you'll just put a couple drops of the fruit juice, and I know for some of you guys, this copy that didn't come out because the printer ran out of toner at the hotel this morning. But anyway, you put a couple drops of, well, let me explain what bricks is. So bricks is, within a given species of plant, the crop with a higher refractive index, or bricks, will have a higher sugar content, but that's not it. That's not everything. Higher mineral content, higher protein content, and greater specific gravity or density. This adds up to a sweeter tasting, more minerally nutritious fruit food with lower nitrate and water content, and have a lower freezing point and better storage attributes. So that's important for farmers because also higher bricks also means more disease resistance. They don't spray as much because plants should have their own innate immune system that resists the bugs. But unfortunately, when you have inferior plants that don't have enough nutrition, they're more susceptible to getting sick or disease. Much like people, right? If you eat a junk food diet, you're more susceptible to getting sick. And if you're eating, high antioxidant, high rich fruit and vegetable diet, you're rarely if ever going to be sick, in my opinion, and based on my personal experience. So, for example, if you pick up an apple from the store, like most apples from the store that I test, might be like 10 or 11 on the brick scale. A poor apple is 6, an average apple is 10, a good apple is 14, but an excellent apple is 18. How many of you guys ever tasted an excellent apple that's 18? That you've actually tested the bricks and eaten it, and you're like, wow, this is a good apple, I'm going to test it, it's 18. Because the other thing is, we don't have a good sense of what a bricks number is because we haven't looked at the bricks and then eaten the fruit, right? This is a common problem I have, and I can get into arguments. I've gotten into arguments with ex-girlfriends. That's not necessarily why they're my ex-girlfriends at this point. They're like, oh, this is such a good peach, I'm eating the peach, I'm like, that's a mediocre peach. I'm a fruit snob, I can't help it. I've had a lot of experience in eating a lot of fruit. But it's because you don't have a good reference point. So your taste buds can lie to you, because if you have the best apple you've ever eaten, and you think, oh man, this is such a good apple, but you test the bricks and it's like 14, that's only a good apple. You get an 18, or you get an apple that's 20. What did I have recently? Oh, I had a Chirimoya that was like 32, which is like totally off the chart, like super high. It's like, oh my God, this is like nirvana right here in the fruits. Because it's exceeding the highest bricks that it can even be. Actually, I had some cherries up in Utah that were like that, actually.
I had some Jeremiah that must have been,
yeah.
I was like,
it's amazing.
It was so good.
But so the higher the bricks, the more minerally dense, the more nutritious it is, and the better tasting it is. And I'm not just meaning just sugar content, although bricks has a component of the sugar content. But my goal is our taste buds should be refined enough to know. I would recommend everybody getting a refractometer. It's called a bricks meter, 0 to 32. They're like maybe $20 on Amazon. Make sure you get one good for fruit. So you can test it. And you can even bricks test your vegetables too, which I have done. You basically have to juice your vegetable and then put a little bit of the juice. I'm really spoiled by having my own beyond organic garden in my backyard, not certified. By eating some of the food I eat because my cabbage and kale leaves are so sweet. And some of the vegetables, for example, kale. Poor kale could be 8, average kale can be 10, good kale can be 12, and really excellent kale can be 16. And when we talk about apples, excellent apples are 18, but good kale could be 16, just 2 points lower. And so good kale can taste really good, but when you buy kale at the store, it's like old, maybe even starting to yellow. For those of you guys that aren't living in California, where it's going across the country in the wintertime, and it just starts to taste horrible as it degrades, and just the fresh picked baby kale leaves, which I encourage you guys, if you're eating whole greens, to pick baby leaves. They digest a lot better, they're a lot more nutritious. It's where a lot of the growth toxins and things are in the plants. But if you're juicing them or making smoothies and you're going to break them up, then I like to harvest mature leaves. So I harvest mature and young leaves depending on what I'm making. So yeah, bricks is really important. Now, why is bricks so important? Why am I a big bricks fan? Well, that's the back of this chart that you guys can look at if you were lucky enough to get one. And this is basically a test of grocery store green beans and garden beans on this chart. The grocery store is on this side, the garden beans are on this side. And the grocery store beans were bricks 4.2, and the garden beans were bricks 6.1. So that's only like 2 points higher. But what difference did it make? Well, the taste, number one, the taste from the grocery store beans were garbage, and that's, not really quantifiable by the person tasting it, and the taste from the garden beans were decent. And if you tasted probably these same two bricks numbers, you would be like, wow, these garden beans actually taste good. I'll tell you, I was out in somewhere weird, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I found a hybrid asparagus grower. And he was handing samples out at the farmer's market because most of them aren't just going to sit and buy asparagus. It's like, oh, you either eat asparagus or you don't. But he was handing out samples because he knew his asparagus was hybrids, really sweet, and if you tasted it, you will buy it. And he was quite successful in doing that. I would see that he would give samples, and the majority of the people out there he gave a sample would buy his asparagus. So then I had to taste it, and I tasted like, wow, this is the best asparagus I've ever ate. To find out that he's really into growing nutrient-dense foods, which unfortunately most farmers are not. They're not aware of this, but they don't know how to do this. There's a few farmers that are, there's far and few in between. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And the reason why it's so important, besides the taste, is garbage and decent, is the nutritional quality, which is right on the bottom. This is what I really want to create awareness about, which is really not talked about in the movement so much. And it's all about the trace minerals. I recently had a blood test, and I tested my zinc, and, as a vegan, people that are vegan may be deficient in zinc. I'm glad to say that my zinc levels were fine. And, that's because of my diet, but I don't eat just a raw food vegetable-based diet. I eat a lot of home-grown food where I actually add zinc and other trace minerals into my soil so that I get these in the food that I'm eating so I can absorb them in the most natural way possible. But for example, on zinc, on this nutritional quality, the zinc of the grocery store is maybe, 7 points if you're lucky. And the zinc in the garden beans that are higher bricks are over 20. So that's almost like a 21, maybe a 3-fold increase of zinc. If you look at the calcium in the grocery store beans that taste of garbage that are 4 points of bricks are maybe about 70. And if you look at the ones that are garden beans, homegrown, rich soil, they're like 130. So that's almost twice as much calcium. So where do vegans get their calcium from? Are you getting them from grocery store beans that have half as much calcium for the same quantity of garden bean? And are you deficient in calcium? Protein, you get protein. Check this out, protein's cool. Protein, the grocery store bean, maybe like 9, and the garden bean has almost maybe 36. It's 18 versus maybe 36, so maybe about a 2-fold increase. Just in the amount of protein. So, I like to get my protein from the greens, and depending on how the green or the plant was grown, you can have more or less protein. And here's the tip that I connected later, is that higher protein-containing plants get attacked by bugs and pests less. Pests cannot, but little simple bugs cannot digest more complex proteins, whereas animals and mammals and we can. So if you're eating, if you have a lot of bugs and things in your garden, they're eating all your vegetables, you need to definitely increase the quality of the soil to increase your plant health, which will in the end increase your health. So yeah, I'm super big on sourcing the best, sourcing the best quality of food you can buy, which includes even growing it yourself. And that's why I'm a big advocate of growing your own food, also to be connected with the food system. I'm not going to judge people that don't eat any animal. I'm not going to judge people that eat animal products. But I will say that I want vegans and animal product eaters to be connected with your food. If you're going to eat animals, I believe you should raise your own chickens and chop their heads off and kill them and then eat them. You shouldn't just buy them, cut up already in the store in a nice package where all that work is done for you because you are disconnected with your food. Likewise, I don't want vegans to, just buy processed vegan food made in a factory. I want you guys to make yourself. I mean, the next thing is for people into plant-based diet, raw food, fruit and vegetable diet. I don't want you guys to buy all your food from the grocery store. I want you guys to grow a little bit of it. Even if you're just growing sprouts and microgreens, which you can do indoors. I don't expect everybody to grow 100% of the food. It's not realistic, but I think this disconnection with food, where food comes from, how it's processed, is a big disconnect. I'm not advocating anybody eat animals, but I'm saying that I believe that if everybody has to raise their own chickens in their backyard and slaughter them or process them, whatever nice words you want to use. Like, I could not do that. I could not kill a chicken and eat it. I eat the grass, the bright chicken. I think there'd be a lot of, plant-based vegan eaters in the world. We have to raise our own foods. And we're connected with them better. Number 5, I want you to expand your palette of fruit and vegetables you guys eat. So what does that mean? If you always eat the same fruits and vegetables, like a lot of Americans have a shopping list, and every week when they go to Whole Foods, they buy their celery, they buy their kale, they buy their apples or oranges or bananas, and during the week, that's what they eat, right? They don't eat new and different seasonal fruits and vegetables. On the drive down, I live in Las Vegas, I drove down, I stopped at Exotica Fruit Tree Nursery to see my friend, Steve up there, and I got a nice tour of the garden because I made videos promoting them. So, and I got to sample some of the in-season ripe fruits. I got to sample tropical apricot, which maybe had once before in my life, but that food, the tropical apricot is not related to the standard apricot. It had an incredible flavor and different nutrients in there than a standard apricot. I have these, it's called cactus blueberries. There's like these little blueberries that grow on a cactus plant, and I got to eat one of those. It's like, there's so many different foods that we have not ever tasted, and each food has different vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals, phytonutrients, not to mention taste sensations to make it taste exploding in your mouth. You may find, some of these new foods you may really like a lot, some of them you may not like a lot, but if you've never tried them, you will never know. And so, just like if you are a painter, and I'm not a painter, I'm not an artist, so I'm probably going to mess this up, but if you're a painter and you have one of those old easel boards where you got to put the primary colors, I don't know what they are, red, yellow, I'm on the green, I don't know. But to make different colors, to have a nice painting with all the different colors, you have to take a little bit of the white to mix it with the yellow to make a lighter yellow. You have to mix this color with that color to get all the different spectrum of colors. We need to eat all the different foods, to get all the different phytonutrients and nutrients into us. So I encourage everybody to eat new fruits and vegetables you have tried before, for additional phytochemicals and nutrients that have different roles in the body. That's very important. Both discovered and undiscovered. They've done a lot of research with different plants. I mean, plants are nothing more than chemical factors, whether it's a fruit or whether it's a leafy green or herb. Plants are chemical factors. They're out there making chemicals from the soil, from the sun, from all the different influences, and those chemicals in the plants are not for our benefit, they're for the plant's benefit, to protect the plants from the sun. I mean, I live in Vegas, it's 100 degrees now for the last maybe month. All my plants are getting full sun, UV, except for the ones that are my reflective shade cloth, but one half of my garden gets full sun, and they have to protect themselves from sunburn. So I make them deal with full sun so that they can produce more of these phytochemicals. And when I eat my kale or collard greens in the summertime in full sun, it's a lot different experience than eating my kale or collard greens in the wintertime when they actually get sweet. In the summertime, they're a lot more stronger and bitter flavor. And these are the protection that it's getting to protect itself from the sun, which then when I eat these kale plants that are high nutrient dense, then those nutrients go into me. They might turn my skin a little bit more orange tint, the zeaxanthin, lutein that goes to my eyes, protect my eyes. So important. So a place you can easily do this is shop at Asian and ethnic markets. You will have a wider, scope of different, especially leafy greens that you would not be available to find at like a standard health food store. Of course, we're going to the best, and I'll talk about a few just out in the garden area. I really love this fruit festival. It's nice and foamy and small, so it's not like really more personal attention than like 500 people where it just gets totally crazy. Plus, there's literally a food forest right outside of a children's garden, where people walk through the garden on the forestry. And so I'm going to handle people, but it's like, I found it, or I was told about it because I didn't know. And I was like, oh my God, this place is so amazing. I was just walking around, just like chill out and doing talk and stuff over there. And there's a lot of cool food growing. It's not just like a regular garden or something that teach kids with just standard vegetables and fruits. They have a lot of cool things that will grow really easily here in the San Diego area without a lot of care. And actually, that's a pro and a con. That garden, in my opinion, does not get as much attention as it should be getting to thrive optimally. But even that, a neglected garden that's taken care of still has plenty of food growing, and some things are doing well, and it just shows us what plants are really strong and resilient that you can grow without taking much care of them. And these are some of them right here. Some of them I have, some for sampling, and some of them I don't. I'll hand them all around to you guys, and you can try some. Or But how many of you guys have eaten like fresh go-to cola? Cool, you guys are cool. But go-to cola, if you go to the health food store, it's sold in a capsule form or a dry bulk herb form. But this plant will actually take over an area. It's actually quite invasive, and it'll just root up and start growing everywhere in this climate zone. I mean, if you live somewhere where it freezes, this guy is not going to take a freeze. But these greens I love to add just to my salad. So now I have the benefits of the go-to cola. What are some of the benefits of go-to cola? I mean, the one that I remember the most, of course, people point to their brains, is memory. These are good for memory. The same properties are not in lettuce. You're just eating lettuce salads every day. So, sometimes I don't make straight go-to cola salads because some of these sold as herbals or medicinals, for people are quite strong. So, I would encourage people to harvest a few leaves and have a few leaves, occasionally in your salads with romaine and with other more mild vegetables so that you get some of these in you, but then you're not getting a big dose. And some of these more wild foods or herbals should be eaten in high quantities, and some of them do need to be heat processed, be cooked to get some of the toxins out of them. I will not be talking about any of the ones that need to be heat processed. All these can be safely eaten raw. So we'll hand this around. I don't know if anyone wants to try this or eat this. There may be some bug on it, so I wipe it off first. It's fully organic. This one is one of my favorite ones that I'm really excited to see that they have out there. This one is actually called Okinawan spinach. I believe it's from Okinawa, Japan. And it's a really cool, kind of more succulent flavor. The reason why John Fuller likes this is one of his favorites that I'm having a challenge growing in Vegas because it is quite hot. This plant is a shade lover. Is because of the back, deep purple leaves. When there's purple in there, there's antioxidants, this is purple pigments, and these are quite healthy and really good for us. I try to eat as many purple pigments as I possibly could get. I don't remember the research and what this is specifically good for, but if you Google this, it's known as Genera bicolor. I'm sure there's many benefits that Asians have determined on this plant. The next one that's closely related to that one, that grows really well, I have a whole fence full in Vegas. This one doesn't like below 33 degrees, so if it gets to 32, this plant is not making it. So all times of the year, for the most part, aside from a deep winter, I can keep this alive by just covering it. This is known as longevity spinach or Genera cocodet. So this one likes full sun, it deals with full sun. The salad that I'm going to eat tonight for dinner was harvested from my garden. I made it, I vacuum sealed it, and I'm going to eat it tonight. Has a bunch of these leaves in here. Let's see, I think they call this the cholesterol lowering plant. And this is not the solution. You guys are eating, animal products and getting high cholesterol. This is to keep your cholesterol in check as a plant-based eater. I have seen some instances where if you eat too much fruit and you're not metabolizing properly, you make your cholesterol and triglycerides may be high. And, and actually that was a challenge I had with one of my blood tests. My triglycerides were high, so I have to really back off on eating as much fruits and focus on more vegetables, and especially some of these more healing vegetables like this. The cool thing about this plant and the last one going around is that you just really take a cutting like this and you stick it in dirt, and then it roots, and then it'll grow a new plant. So some of these are really easy to propagate or to grow yourselves. How many of you guys have had, I should be calling out, how many people have had Okinawan spinach here? Nobody, good. How many people have had longevity spinach or Genera cocodet? Nobody, that's good. So yeah, I'm glad, this has really been my study and area. Aside from, these are 10 points and this is just one of my points, and how many people haven't even had these. So hopefully this next plant, I have a lot, so more of you guys to sample, because they have a lot out there. Let's see, I'll mix them up. So this plant, actually, if you own property here in San Diego or Southern California, this is one of the ones you definitely want to grow. The other two you should grow also, but this one's like a no-brainer. If you guys go outside, you can see all the trees and the grass and all grows year-round. This is also one in Southern California without a frost. It'll grow year-round as a tree, and it's very low maintenance. You literally plant it once. It's basically impervious to most pests and common diseases. And it's known as moringa. How many people have had moringa before? How many people have had fresh moringa before? Not in a powder, cool. So some of you guys. But yeah, fresh moringa is amazing, and it's called the tree of life. And it has more calcium than carrots and all these crazy things, and you can buy powder. And when you go to the health food store and buy powder, they basically just take the leaves, dry them, powder them, and then they sell them to you for like $30 a pound when you can have a tree that literally just grows outside your door. You go and harvest them like I can in the summertime, and I just add in the juices, add in the salad, and I like to pick the baby top leaves that are a lot more tender. And so that's what I've done here. They're a little bit wilted. I just picked them like, 10 minutes before my talk again. And pick off a leaf. And one of the things I found out about moringa is that just like the cruciferous family of vegetables, they also contain the anti-cancer properties. And that'll give it a little bit of that bite that you're tasting when you're getting there. Another one, which is a little bit more common. How many of you guys have purslane come up in your garden? How many people eat purslane? I mean, like every hand should go, this is such a common leafy green that, is available in any Mexican market for the most part. I mean, if you go to the farmer's market, I think I saw some purslane for sale today, some really nice cultivated purslane. This is more of a wild type that has smaller leaves. This is the kind that I grow every year in my garden, not by choice, but because it comes back every year, and I just let it come back. And, when it's in season, which for me in Vegas, because it's so hot, this is the springtime, plant it right as it gets hot. This always will cover my ground right below my peppers, which is good to cover the ground, and have the edible mulch and the ground cover, but also this plant is very high in omega-3 fatty acids, which are good for our brain and many other things in our life. You guys can try some fresh purslane. That will recede easily, and once you grow it once, probably you won't be able to get rid of it, which could be a good or a bad thing depending on how you look at it. A weed is only a weed if it's in undesirable spots. All right, so this next one here. Oh yeah, okay, yes. This next one here. These leaves are kind of getting wilted now, but how many of you guys have eaten this one? This is nasturtium leaves. One person, here, cool, 2, 3, all right, a couple people. Nasturtium leaves are amazing. Most people eat nasturtium flowers, which are edible flowers, which are known as edible and they're delicious. But nasturtium leaves, I'll have to look this one up and do a nice Instagram post to see what's in there, because I don't really know. But it has a nice peppery flavor. I'm sure that peppery flavor has some kind of good, cool health benefits. And these make awesome wraps. Like I've had some of these leaves that are like maybe like this, and you can literally use them as a little tortilla wrap or ravioli wrap, and a nice hot and spicy flavor. And these guys these are growing wild out there. They grow wild in California, many places, because you plant them once and they have these little seeds that are cool that you can eat it. You can also eat the seeds raw. They kind of also have a hot, spicy flavor. They pickle them as like poor man's capers, they call them. So yeah, that's a really cool one. Oh, and this guy. Oops, dropped it. This is another cool one. Have you guys eaten this one? This is actually grape leaves. So we've eaten grapes. Everybody probably here has eaten grapes. But how many people have eaten grape leaves? So if you're eating gomas, you have had grape leaves. But you can also eat grape leaves raw. I do not recommend necessarily making a salad out of this stuff. But they are raw. They are edible. And I wouldn't, I just eat a little bit here and there. I don't know the properties of grape leaves, but I saw that out there. And I wanted to just, there's so many, once again, there's so many foods that you guys are not aware of. Yeah, we get to buy the grapes from the store, but, maybe in a certain, ethnic markets, like, they might sell grape leaves so that you can make your own domo, but people don't know they're wrong. Add some to a green smoothie is a perfect way to eat some of these things. The last one I have is for the daring and adventurous. So this one, if you do eat this, it's really strong, hot flavor. This one is known as Cuban oregano. So this is a more of a medicinal. If you love oregano, you will probably love this. You only want to take off a little pinch of this leaf because it's going to light up your mouth. That's why I saved it to last. But also, things that have stronger flavor also have more phytonutrients. And once again, this is another easy one, especially in California with the drought. You can literally root this, and it's a drought tolerant. So in Vegas, in summertime, this thing just takes off and just grows by the bunches. I don't use it as fast as I can grow it because it is so strong. I might only put a leaf or two literally in a salad dressing to basically blow up a salad. If you're making like a Italian seasoning, you can use this if you don't have oregano. So you guys can send that. I'll send that around. So yes, these are just a few things I saw outside that I wanted to bring in to sample you guys. But there's so many more thousand foods that you guys could be eating, and unless you grow them yourself or have access to a cool farm or garden or the wild or a park where they don't spray things, you'll never get to try these foods. You'll never have the access to the nutrients in those foods that are both researched and unresearched. Some of these foods are from Asia and other countries. Wow, why are you talking so long already? All right, I'm going to move on because I have 5 minutes left. All right, let's see. So, expand your palate of fruits and vegetables as you taste it. A lot of these foods are totally unique, different tastes, and have different nutrients. Number 6 is process your own food. Don't buy packaged foods. And that's something huge, especially with the millennial generation. I think we've gotten away from making our own foods, and people would rather just buy pre-made juice instead of make it themselves. Packaged foods benefit the company, not you, because they're there to make a profit. It also creates plastic waste, and in many cases, they're using salt, sugar, and cheap fillers to give a product so that they can maximize their profits. So process your own food. Number 7, use the best processing techniques, right? And the best processing techniques for your food are teeth, which are our free juicers. Now, even though I sell juicers, I'll always tell you to use your teeth first, because that is the natural way to digest and break down food. The challenge is I want you guys to use your teeth properly, which means you chew every mouthful into a mush. It's easy with fruits because you don't have to chew as much. But with vegetables, if you're swallowing big chunks of vegetables like leaves, you'll see them coming out on the other side when you go to the toilet. And if you're seeing vegetables come out whole or in chunks, that means you are not digesting them, and you might as well not be eating them. That's why I like to process my own food, in blender or juicers if I don't feel like chewing it. It'll take me like a good hour to chew my food. I eat rather slow, which is a good and bad thing, depending on how you look at it. Number 7, this is super important, is use the best processing techniques. I talked about that. I said process your own food. So yeah, number 7 is use the best processing techniques. And so that actually was the good old-fashioned chewing your food properly. Low-speed juicing versus high-speed juicing. So, if you juice in a Breville, hey, that's great if you're drinking juice, which is better than not drinking juice. But if you use a slow juicer, such as a Green Star Pro or a slow juicer, you're going to maximize more of the phytonutrients in there. I've done many tests where I show this. There's scientific studies that prove this in terms of antioxidants. Also, something like vacuum blender. How many people own a vacuum blender? Wow, zero. How many people are familiar with what vacuum blending is? That's so cool. Some of you guys watch my videos. So I would encourage everybody to vacuum blend because you preserve more phytonutrients, or specifically antioxidants. Probably not minerals, probably not other things, but also have a better taste, flavor, texture. As time goes on, vacuum blenders will get cheaper and it will be more widely available. You can lose like 3 times of some of the polyphenol in blueberries if you're blending blueberries in a standard Vitamix versus vacuum blending them, which I think is significant. Also, you're losing a lot of flavor and storage capabilities after you are done blending. And then now the last one is freeze drying versus dehydration. I know, when I got into raw food, dehydration was really big. And everybody would dehydrate their food and kill chips and all these things. And hey, well that's good because it's a way to preserve food. It's not the best. So recently now they have freeze dryers that are home freeze dryers, and I bought one. I've had a lot of challenges with it. You can watch my videos. I can really get into that. But now I get to freeze dry my food and make basically concentrated nutrients in my food, which is another tip. And so we're going to throw some of these out there. These are freeze dried sweet cherries. So this is missing the water content. I don't recommend living on freeze dried cherries because they're missing the water content. But they're basically now, because I'm going to take out the water, they're packed with phytonutrients, and they got different nutrients in there. Can't throw it out to everybody. I'm going to throw a couple more because I got to keep talking. I'm almost out of time here.
Cherry bomb.
Cherry bomb. All right, and somebody's going to be really lucky. This is still nutrient dense because the water is missing, but it's freeze-dried jackfruit. And this tastes like, maybe I'll break it in half. This to me tastes like a fortune cookie. So actually, what I do for fun is I try to freeze-dry whole jackfruit pods, and I can still a fortune in there.
That looks good.
And then eat it, and it's like so amazing. So let's see here, man. I don't know how far we can fling a jackfruit piece. Hit the floor. All right, go back here. But yeah, so I don't advocate the use of, once again, that's good, better, best. I'd rather eat any of this freeze-dried stuff than McDonald's or a vegan tofu burger, but I'd rather eat fresh fruit or even a juice instead of my freeze-dried stuff. But if I can't get enough fruit fresh, I can have freeze-dried food that I've made at home where I can control the quality. I have videos on how I freeze-dry salad, so even I can eat my winter vegetables in the summertime, just add water and keeps 99% of the nutrition. A very high percent of the nutrition because it is done under vacuum while frozen, which is super cool. Machines have challenges. Number 8, we'll get that at 10, is eat a percentage of concentrated foods. So, because of the reasons I mentioned earlier, such as, the quality of the food is not as good as it should, it doesn't have as much nutrients as it should, one of the ways you can increase the nutrients you're getting in, because I'm all about eating, more nutrient-dense versus calorie-dense foods. That's something that's really important, that I wish I knew this earlier in my raw foods journey. Is, freeze-dried foods is a concentrated food because you're removing the water. That's basically the only thing missing with a little bit of nutrition that is lost, but it's keeping the majority of the nutrition. Well, if you guys have tried that, how do those guys taste?
It's very good.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, it's like crap.
Yes, it's good.
It's just fruit, man. It's so good. So you're increasing the volume of food you can eat. Especially like green powders, or basically concentrated greens if you are unable to get or eat certain greens. Also, I like to use the juicer. So the juicer removes some, but not all the fiber, depending on the produce. Like pineapple is the worst juice because that has very little soluble fiber. That gets rid of most of the fiber in pineapple, but in carrots, as I mentioned, we're still talking about half the fiber. But now I'm removing some of the extra bulk of the carrots so I can get more pounds of carrots into me. And in the case of beets, I don't eat a lot of raw beets. But if I didn't juice beets, I probably wouldn't eat that many beets unless they're fermented, which is not too common. So now I'm able to increase my quantity of beets that aren't necessarily my favorite food to get those nutrients into me, which are good for the beta lane, they're good for your cardiovascular system and all these things. Sports performance, they don't do beet juice now, which I fully approve of. Let's see here. Yeah, juicing is also easier on the go. So like I drank 3 juices today, but sometimes I just don't have time to sit down and eat a whole watermelon, but I can slurp down a juice. But just because you can slurp down a juice doesn't mean you should drink it fast. And then let's see here, eat concentrated foods. And number 9 is grow your own food. This is super important. You can growing your own food allows you to have the healthiest food by number 1, having access to food money can't buy. So you can grow all those things if you live here in San Diego really easily, even if you don't maintain your garden. As they've proven here, and be able to eat those foods on a regular and consistent basis. Number 1, that's super important to me. Number 2, you can add nutrients to the soil that farmers are not adding, such as the trace minerals. And you're not going to be a deficient vegan, raw fruitarian, and make sure you get all your trace minerals, not added to food normally. In addition, I did talk about earlier that food grown on standard NPK fertilizer may be quite imbalanced. This is totally advanced topic subjects. We can have higher nitrate levels and different levels based on the food is only good as the fertilizer we're putting in. If they're focusing on 3 fertilizers, the food is going to be pretty imbalanced, in my opinion, compared to food grown on 70 to 90 different trace minerals in nature's proportions in the form of like rockets, which I use. Number 3, if you grow your own garden, you can pick your food at your peak ripeness, or pick it at the stage you want. For example, kale, I like to pick baby leaves, eat, large leaves get blended or juice. If you're growing fruit trees, then you get to pick your fruit at optimal ripeness, something before the birds do, or other vermin in your garden get it. That will mean more nutrition for you. And number 4, ensuring your food is not sprayed with toxic pesticides. You know exactly how your food is growing, and you get to control that exactly. And number 5, just talked about a little bit earlier, you're eating the most microbiome abundant foods that live in your environment. I even pee on my plants. I'm not afraid to admit that. Not on my vegetables, usually, or the leaves. But on my plants, and they're absorbing part of my energy, and maybe my plants are going to grow and give me what it needs based on my pee, which is also a nitrogen fertilizer, okay? And then number 10, this is really important. This is emerging science. And I just want to make sure I mention this in my talk, is I want you guys to eat for your microbiome. All this research and studies coming out, I try to stay up with the latest science and all these things, is that, they say that now we are more bacteria than even human, right? And we don't really digest our food, our microbiome, without bacteria inside us do. There are new tests that I hope to have a video on really soon, where I get my microbiome tested. And, each person can, bacterial and fungi and microbiome can digest certain things better than others. And some things, even though you love eating blueberries, maybe they're not so good for you. And you find strawberries, your microbiome accepts more instead of creating them. Your bacteria in your gut will basically digest the food you eat and make metabolites out of them. They'll make good things that are good for us, like antioxidants, but they can also make some things that are not so good for us. So we want to try to feed our microbiome right, and this is totally next level stuff that actually I rarely hear about. And so that's very important. So one way you know is just by the inner sense of if your body's like it, if you're digesting And you can do a biome. It's called biome testing. So that's up on my list to do biome testing and see what my microbiome looks like. Obviously, if you're coming from a standard American diet to plant-based diet, you have a lot of challenges. That's because your microbiome is used to eating junk food your whole life, and now you're piling in fruits and vegetables, and your bacteria is going, oh my God, I can't digest this stuff because I have a microbiome from junk food or for animal products, and you don't have the right microbiome. So slowly over time, as you increase your fruit and vegetable consumption, slowly and moderately, which is the way I recommend getting into this diet, you will start populating with the right microbes, and you'll print out the bad microbes that are used to be in your old diet. I don't have any time for questions, and I think I even ran over a little bit. I'll be hanging out here, around if you guys want to ask me questions. I also have a huge, maybe 25-pound watermelon I'm glad to share with people because I don't have any fruit here. So I'm going to be sitting at one of those back tables and cutting open a watermelon. So anybody who wants to join me, come by and grab some watermelon and chat. Thank you so much.
All right, so you guys made it out of the presentation. What do you guys think? Did you guys love that presentation? I know the sound wasn't that good, and I apologize for that. My wired mic was actually out of battery, so I couldn't wire a mic up for you guys. But hopefully that was of value for you guys, and you enjoyed it. Hey, if you guys enjoyed it and liked it, hey, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. That'll encourage me to continue to film my presentations that I give when I travel all around to different festivals and events, and put it online for you guys, so you guys that weren't there are able to see it. That was a one of an only talk that I give, and all my content, if you watch all my videos, you'll find all those tips sprinkled amongst it, but I basically just condense them down, narrow them down into one exact place. Also, be sure to share this with other people you may think it can help, especially on other raw food fruitarian forums. So they could kind of learn from basically my journey, my successes and mistakes. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss out on my new and upcoming episodes I have coming out about every 5 to 7 days. You never know where I'll share what we'll be learning on my YouTube channel. And make sure to click the little bell so you get notified as my new videos come out. Also, be sure to check out past episodes. And past episodes are a wealth of knowledge, over 500 episodes at this time on this YouTube channel dedicated to teach you guys how to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables, how to do it healthily, how to do it more affordably, and just my pragmatic approach, because that's the kind of guy I am. So I guess with that, my name is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. We'll see you next time, and until then, remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables. They're always the best.